Prophet Marshall Occurrence, back at it. So this message is going to be about the witches and warlocks, telepaths and psychics wanted to play a game of spiritual warfare game and played Theyself. No, this is what needs to be said. They played Theyself. They ain't played Theyself. Look at this country. They play spiritual warfare games that nobody cares about, telepath games that nobody cares about, psychic games or mind reading games that no one cares about. Whether they right or wrong, people still want these people dead, right? And that's that. If you don't know the condition of the battlefield, people want the gang stalkers dead. They want the psychics and telepaths dead. They want people that play these positions dead. Hey, listen, I didn't force you to play that position. You decided and took upon yourself to play that position. So you get what you come with. You get what you come with it. See, whether it be strangers on the streets or family, my heart can't be broken anymore. I'm too strong to get a broken heart. I've been through too much to get a broken heart. All I do is I let God destroy my enemies. That's what I do. And if you've been playing with me, let me tell you something. I ain't got nothing to do with that. You decided to play with me, right? Well, you decided to meet destruction. It's that simple. Okay? At this point, we don't even really care who it is. Let me set you free. I've been talking to people that they say they family involved with gang stalking. I already know that. I already know about all that. You know, because it's people that's going to be close to you that's going to tell all the information. Who else know this information about you? Of course, it's your family. But it's done went so far, we don't care about it no more. Nor are we brokenhearted. And I pray for you if you, listen, don't be brokenhearted about it. Family is not what it used to be. They don't have the hearts that they used to have. Deal with it. Treat them just like people. Just like you dismiss a female, you dismiss your family. You dismiss them like it don't even matter. Listen, that's how you gotta be. That's how you gotta be. You dismiss them like a hoe. You dismiss your family that betrayed you. You dismiss them like a hoe. You dismiss them like a whore. Okay? And look. The main one in the family they think is the softest wind up being the hardest one. That's how it always goes. That's why they tried you in the first place. But if they would have checked the history, they would have knew you was the hardest. You already had the potential to be the hardest already. Why would they try the hardest and the darkest person in the family? When they know it wasn't them, it was you. Well, all you gotta do is go back in time a little bit and you can see who was the darkest and hardest person. Oh, it was them over me. Listen, man. Let me tell you something. Let me tell y'all something. I do what I have to do to survive. That's why I'm at today. Whatever I have to do to survive. I don't make movies. You know, it's people that clout chase. It's people that make videos. It's people that think they won. People say you got them. How you got me? Show me how you got me. I don't play psychological games, chumps. I don't play telepath games, suckers. I don't play psychic games, fools. I don't play those kind of games. It don't mean nothing to me. You know what means something to me? World War III, on the brink of World War III. The wars in the Middle East. Being on the brink of civil unrest. See, this is what happened when ghetto people are left to their own devices. You know what this is? This is basically ignorant ghetto people in the spiritual world. No, you don't want to hear that, but listen, especially if you black, it ain't nothing but ghetto people done finally made it to the spiritual world, ain't they? They done finally made it to the spiritual world. In other words, this ain't nothing but ignorant black people, most of them that's in the spiritual world playing spiritual games with you and playing around your head. It's mixed with ghetto energy, right? Let me tell you something. I've already won my wars. We just waiting for Jesus Christ to put the icing on the cake. Militarily speaking, we just waiting for Jesus Christ to put the icing on the cake. Everybody and their mama could see that we won. We won, right? Okay. So we ain't worried about people trying to get revenge or trying to get justification or trying to get, I don't know, some type of vindictive motive to be accomplished. We not worried about that. We don't fit those narratives. You outgrew those narratives. See, I outgrew all the narratives that they put me in. And they don't realize you playing with a real warrior, bona fide soldier. That's all I am over here. I'm a bona fide soldier. Now, you are a space cadet. We consider you type of people space cadets. I am more like military, which means when it comes down to it, I neutralize targets if I have to. That's what I do. Now, you fit the format of Harry Potter meets wizard meets psychic or telepath. I don't fit into none of those categories. And see, that's what made you come out here and play with us. You thought I was in the spiritual world like you. No, I'm not. I'm in love with Jesus. I'm not in love with spirituality. I'm not in love with having this idea that I can do something spiritual. It's a lot of people that's in love with that. They in love with spirituality. Listen, let me explain something. I'm never caught. Everything that comes across me rolls off of my back like water off a duck's back. And I know many people are butthurt. They're butthurt because they're suffering. But you know why you're suffering. You know exactly why this is happening to you. If you got intuition and spirituality, you already know why it's happening to you. Because you played with the wrong people. You played with somebody you shouldn't have played with. And maybe you thought my spirituality wasn't nothing. Oh, well, when you think that, much as I fast, much as I seek the Lord, how could you ever think you could play with me on a spiritual level? You must have been out your mind. What we did was end this whole community because of you. Always keep people that know who they are. You know who you are. You're the reason why all of this happened. And you might take it to the grave. You might not tell people, we know you the reason why all of this country is ending. You. Nobody may not ever believe it, but it's your fault. You came out here for a woman. You came out here for a female. That's the real reason you came out here. You didn't come out here for something that happened to you when you was a kid sexually. You came out here because you're a woman. Was attracted to me. July 4th, 2010, when she moaned in lust, that's what made you do all of this. But that no longer matters. You know why it doesn't matter? Because so many people have got involved. So many people, so many ignorant black people have been involved that by the time I see you, you don't even play a factor anymore. I'm so deep into warfare. Listen, it's not one person that, whether they be mother, father, sister, brother, it's no one person from my family that can break my heart or can make me focus my full attention on them. I'm too spiritual to focus my full attention on you. I'm focused on America. That's what I'm focused on. And we're doing very good. We're doing very good. We're focused on America. I just wanted people to know I know what the real reasons was. Now you can feed them senior citizens lies, but I know the real truth of what it's all about. You can feed the senior citizens lies, but I know what it's all about. You know what it's about? This is all about a woman. This is all about a woman. See, for me, personally, I don't play myself for no woman. I don't play myself for no human beings. I don't play myself for family. I don't play myself for nobody. I'ma always win. I'ma always come out on top. This is why I remain spiritual. Because see, when you're spiritual, right, it's all gonna work in my favor. Listen, I outrank my whole family. And I have no problem. Ain't nobody closer than me. Ain't nobody that's on this level in my family. And I can say that wholeheartedly. I can say that without any doubts. And it don't matter what kind of spiritual gifts you got. When it comes to manifestations, there is no one that outranks me. When it comes to what the community can see that we do, it's no one that outranks me, man. See, my manifestations is outward. It's out there. And so, when you provoke me with ignorant games and ignorant psychology and ignorant psychic telepath mind reading, then this is what you get in response. This is the kind of conversation you get in response. Just in case you thought I was a sucker. See, Charlotte, the last time you seen me, it's been a long time. I done grown as a man. And if you can't grow with me, you can't be with me. I've grown as a man. I'm not the same man I used to be. I'm a lot more dangerous, and I'm a lot more spiritual, which is good. I'm more spiritual, and I'm more dangerous. And obviously, I'm more smarter, wiser. That comes with years and living long. Now, if you try to put me in a category like I'm still 27 years old, you can't fit in my life. I'm not 27 anymore. I'm 45. Full of wisdom, full of manhood. Okay? We're winning our wars. But we just want the witchcraft and warlock and psychic and telepath community to realize you played yourself. This is why all of this is over. This is why all this community is over. Because you played yourself. Okay? They tried to use witchcraft against us in a spiritual game. They thought they would use their craft to see who's the best. And as soon as you line people up against me like that, like in a single file line, and we just gonna see if this person works and that person works. Now that's what I went through. But guess what? Because you played that position. Listen, because you played that position, that's why this is all over. That's why it's all over. You played a clown position. And you thought I would get frantic. Man, listen. You thought I would panic. I done lived in Brooklyn, New York. When you think you're going to see me panic? After living in Brooklyn. After living in Los Angeles. When would you think I would panic? That's why I can sit in the middle of enemies and know exactly what's going on. And I just sit there. Because you're going to see, before it's all said and done, that I outrank you. This secret society gonna see that I outrank you. Ain't no way in the world I can make this up. Go ask the streets. Go ask the streets what I do. I serve the Lord. But the prophet don't play no games. Okay? I don't play any games. I'm not a threat to you if you're not a threat to me. And there's different types of threats. You got spiritual threats, mental threats, psychological threats, telepathy threats, psychic threats, witchcraft threats, and everything in between. As long as you're not a threat to me and you don't play in my face, you ain't gonna have no problems. As long as you play in my face, listen. God don't play about me. I know y'all think y'all know God, but I'm pretty sure you can look at your life and know that half of this stuff happened to you because you played with me. You don't think so? That's why it happened to you. You know why it happened to you? because you played with me. So common sense tells you I outrank you. Don't ever play with a prophet and think nothing ain't gonna happen to you. I am not a witch. I am not a warlock. I am worse. I am worse than a witch. A witch wish she could manifest like I do. A warlock wish they could manifest like I do. I can change this whole community. I realize my spiritual power. Oh, I didn't tell you, did I? Well, I realize my spiritual power. But I'm humble. That's why you ain't know. I could change this whole community. I could change this whole city. That's what level I'm on. I change whole cities. Ask New York about me. I'm one of the most feared men in America. That's who you playing with. That's who you talking about. Watch how you put your mouth on me. I don't care if you family or not. Watch how you put your mouth on me. Watch how you put your mouth on me. I don't make empty threats. Watch how you put your mouth on me. Brooklyn know what time it is. Ask Brooklyn what happened to him when they played with the prophet. Ask Brooklyn how people was dying for playing with me. And they knew that's what it was. They knew that was the reason. They thought, ask Brooklyn if they thought the reason that stuff was happening to them because they played with the prophet. Ask them. That's how confident I am. Go ask Brooklyn. Places y'all scared of. Go ask them. Go ask Brooklyn about me. Go ask Brooklyn about my spirituality. When they was getting casualties. When they getting casualties. Now, I ain't talking about the street stuff. I'm talking about the spirituality. Go ask Brooklyn about my spirituality. Where they felt like they was losing people because of me. Because they played with me, right? Oh, listen, I pay attention. So I advise you, country bumpkins that's in the South, don't play with me, man. Don't play with me. I've been all around this country. I'm a real cowboy. I'm a real cowboy with real manifestations. This is my warning shot. This is my warning shot. Don't play with me. Okay? I don't play any games. And that's on the spiritual level. I ain't talking no street language. This is all spirituality. I can wash this whole community up in an instance. You thought I was a bootleg prophet. Go ask the community. Go ask them what they saw. See, it's gonna be people that think they know you the best that's gonna lower down your rank. They think they know you too much and they gonna lower down your rank. That's why you gotta stand on your own. And it wind up being the community that give you more respect than your own family. Go ask the community about me and what they think. That's all you gotta do. That's how confident I am. Go ask New York. New York City. Huh? Go ask San Francisco. How I handle myself. Go ask San Francisco how I handle myself. Go ask New York how I handle myself. Go ask Queens how I handle myself. Go ask them all the stuff that was happening along the way of playing with me. Playing with me is not a game you want to play. Okay? I'm a grown man over here. Very grown. So if you thought I was Bart Simpson, listen, I grew all the way up to a grown man. And I suggest those who are stuck in who I used to be, I expect you to catch up real quick because God ain't playing. Neither am I. I'm like a gorging bull. I'm like a raging bull on a rampage. I would change your whole opinion of me in 1 second. I would change your whole opinion of me in 1 second. I've been through too much to play games. I've been through too much to be a liar. I've been through too much to be fake. I've been through too much to even care if people think I'm fake. I don't even care if you think I'm fake. So what? I know what I'll do if I have to do it. I know what I'll do if I have to take care of myself. I don't care if you think I'm fake or not. So what? That's good for a soldier. That's camouflage. Self-deception. That's what we call it. Where you deceive your own self about me. I didn't have to do nothing. See, that works in the streets. It don't work playing with real soldiers. The worst thing you could do is dumb me down with a lie. Something I know I'm not. Oh, you think I'm slow, retarded, bipolar? Oh, I'm sharper than the whole family. I'm sound-minded than the whole family. Now imagine me being out of my mind as much as I've been through and all the places I've been, and I came back in one piece. Imagine me being out of my mind. Don't question me, question yourself. Look at yourself. Question yourself. Don't question me. I could have been in an apartment by myself right now. I don't have to be here. You didn't realize that, did you? When Charlotte put their mouth on me, did you realize I don't even have to be here? Oh, I could have had an apartment. I chose not to live among homosexuals. I could have had myself together if I was doing things the way everybody think I should do it. Oh, that's not true. They was calling me for an apartment while I was on my way to the bus station leaving New York. So I'm in a whole different energy. See, you ain't on that level. Listen. I'm walking by faith and not by sight. I'm walking in a whole nother realm. Where, listen, I could have had an apartment where things y'all kill for to live in New York rent-free. Things y'all would kill for in Charlotte. I could have had an apartment rent-free. Huh? You wouldn't have cared if no gay people was in there or not. So you're not looking at somebody that this time, whether you see me again, whatever the other time you see me again, this time is different. You know why this time is different? Because I could be off the streets if I wanted to. You don't see the energy, do you? You know what I'd rather have done? I'd rather go ahead and bring it to the streets. That's why I stayed on the streets for 3 months. Charlotte, you ain't even do nothing. Charlotte, you talking about, you act like you want all the smoke, but we don't, listen. Charlotte, you ain't even do nothing. I was on the streets for 3 months. The only reason I left is because, listen, I'm tired of games. Oh, you could be tired of games. And I outrank you. As charlatans, I outrank Charlotte. But I ain't singing songs about it. I'm not singing songs about it, though. Man, come on, man. You forced my hand, Charlotte. You forced my hand. Listen, the last thing somebody that lived in New York and LA want to do is pick on Charlotte. But you thought you could pick on me. So then you forced my hand to show you a small fry, Charlotte. You unchallenged. I done been challenged by New York. I done been challenged by California. I done been challenged by Florida. I done been challenged by you. And I'm still standing. I done been challenged by 4 states, and you think I'm crazy? Go ask these other places what they think. Listen, Charlotte, you ain't gonna make no example out of me, and you ain't gonna prove nothing playing with me, buddy. I'm gonna tell you right now, you had your chance. I gave you a probationary period of 3 months, and you ain't do nothing. I was out there on April, May, June, most of April, most of May, all of May, June, and a good part of July. Most of July. Why you ain't do nothing? I'm gonna tell you why you ain't do nothing. Because you started to go with my narrative. You started to feel like I feel. You started to realize who I really was, didn't you? See, this is when angels turn into warring angels. Oh, I'm still an angel. I'm just a warring angel. I got my war wings now. This is the last days where God has made his angels soldiers. And listen, most of y'all that are not spiritual don't even know what's going on. We became warring angels. Why you think we curse people? No, we don't curse people. We don't curse people according to witchcraft. We move as warring angels. We move as warring angels, right? We're angels of warfare. We're nothing like the past. We're nothing like the Christian churches in the past. 20 years ago, with the movements of, no, I say this respectfully, Juanita Bynum movements and Pastor Parsley movements and Joel Osteen, that's 20 years ago. And I don't think a lot of people is really letting that sink in. God's people have become warring angels 20 years later. We're warring angels. And if you can't keep up, listen, you're going to be a casualty. Because ain't nothing going on but spiritual warfare. That's all that's going on. That's 7 out. That's all that's going on is spiritual warfare. And if you kind of try to come out here with love, you're going to be a casualty. It ain't nothing but an atmosphere of war. You ain't realize that? The Bible says this. It's a time of love and a time to hate. Okay, what does that mean to you? To what it means to me, in my high IQ, it means it's the opposite of love. That's the bottom line. Well, if it's the same thing, why would it need to differentiate? It would just say it's a time to love. A time to love and a time to hate. A time of war and a time of peace. What you think a time of war means? Spiritual war goes on at all times. So why would it be talking about spiritual war? And spiritual war never ceases to exist. As long as the world stands, we have spiritual war. So it wasn't talking about spiritual war. It's a time of war and a time of peace. What you think that war means? Do you think that's symbolic war? Or is it real war? See, I just grew up. Once I left Little Charlotte, I just grew up and I realized how much people overlooked in the Bible. How simple-minded people were concerning the Bible. It says it's a time of war and a time of peace. What else people don't understand about that? This is a time of war. And you can't send out no funny signals. You can't send out no not with me. You can't be doing no mind reading, no telepath, all that talking under your breath, all that foolishness. Listen, that's going to make God take care of you. I ain't going to have to even do nothing to you. God going to do it. We done seen it every time. Every time they play with me. Listen, the same thing you think you experiencing. Imagine experiencing 10 times of that. Why people don't think I'm on your level. Imagine me experiencing 10 times what you experience. You don't fast like this and don't experience nothing. You don't fast for 10 days and 7 days consistently and don't experience no spirituality. I just got a different attitude about it than you. Which means I'm open to realizing there's more people that's more spiritual than me. Do you feel the same way? There's people more spiritual than you. The only difference is between me and you, I'm not singing songs about it. Oh, I'm very spiritual. Very, very spiritual. But guess what? I play a spiritual position of getting manifestations, not sitting up, oh, well, let's talk about this and let's do this and nah, let's just manifest. That's what I'm on. Let's just manifest. That's what I'm on. What you on? Oh, let's talk about it. Let's read people's minds. Nah, I ain't on that. You know what I'm on? Let's change this whole atmosphere. Let's change this whole situation. That's what I'm on. See, that's the problem with these goofy spiritual people. You sitting up reading people's mind and worried about what people thinking about, and you ain't manifesting nothing. I come into a situation and I manifest. That's all I'm talking about. That's my only language these days. Manifestations. Where are the manifestations? That's all we talking about. Okay? That's the bottom line. In 2026, it's all about manifestations, and I can show you how to get them. The only way you're going to get manifestations, you got to be clean. You got to have a clean heart. You got to live clean. You ain't going to get no manifestations living dirty. Many of us that backslid, we recovering from the things we did, including me. I'm recovering right now for the things I've done. But I'm manifesting. You know how I'm manifesting? Spiritual warfare. See, this is what I decided to do. I decided to apply all my spirituality to spiritual warfare against these Americans that thought they could play with me. So I'm not, you know what I'm worried about more than anything? This spiritual war that's going on, that's all we care about. That's all we care about. All we care about is spiritual manifestations against the Americans. You see what happened? Men used their free will to fight against us. And we took our whole spirituality to manifesting destruction on the Americans. That's what, listen, man, listen. All I can tell you is while you was asleep, a war broke out. A big war. A nationwide war. And we're not carnal. We're not full of hate. Not toxic hate. We're not unforgiving. It became a war. A war is not unforgiveness. So a war is unforgiveness. See, a war is not, it doesn't incorporate the dynamic of unforgiveness. Is it necessarily unforgiveness? No, it's solving a continuous problem. That's what war is. War is not unforgiveness. So once you come in and establish, this is why I tell people, you have to come in and establish war. So people can stop thinking it's anything else but that. Once I come in and establish war before God, it's not unforgiveness. No, it's not. It's a fixated mindset that this community is the enemy. This community is the enemy. It's not unforgiveness. You have to come in as real men and real women when people playing games. See, God knew who to use, right? That's not going to be soft and not going to play no games. When these people play with us, you have to come in and declare war by rules and regulations and walk away. That's all I've done. It's not unforgiveness. Because I'm not worried about them like that. I'm not losing no sleep. I'm not losing no sleep about them like that. So it's not unforgiveness. I have determined that it is war. I have declared war, and I moved away from this community, and that's that. Now, to God, my heart is not filled with hate. My heart is not filled with unforgiveness. My heart is not filled with bitterness. My heart is filled with war. And it's a big difference. See, only a soldier understands this. A real one. It's not unforgiveness on the battlefield. Unforgiveness on the battlefield. Once you declare these people as enemies, it's a war. That's it. And you're not going to find two parties that's on the battlefield using their emotions. I don't use my emotions anymore. in this situation with the Americans? No, I don't. No. I have declared war and I walk away. That's it. That's what you have to do. You don't try to give them the benefit of the doubt and come back later and deal with them. No. Once you declare war on the Americans, you walk away and you come back in a war position. That's it. You navigate through this community, taking whatever you need to take from these people. They call themselves Americans. You take whatever you need to take like a pirate. Like a pirate, you take whatever you need to take from them. It's all spoils of war. That's all it is. Spoils of war. But it doesn't change how I feel when you give me food, when you give me whatever you give me. As the Americans, I don't change my position. See, it took maturity for me to understand this. No matter what they do for me as Americans, I do not change my position of war until I get what I really want. You know what I really want? My money. My money for you playing with me, right? Until I get it, I don't care what I get from you as Americans. I'm going to maintain my position. You think I'm stupid? What, I get a piece of bread and I forgive you? I get a piece of bread from the Americans and now it's all good? No, it ain't all good. Until I get my money from the Americans. I just grew up. That's all. I just grew up. In that little cheapskate way that you thought we would come together and this would be all over as Americans, and you wouldn't pay me my money and you would give me some little dumb position in your community. Listen, I'd rather die and take my last breath before I ever bow to America. Before I ever bow to you Americans, I'll leave this earth. That's what lane I'm on. That's what position I'm in. I take my last breath and leave this earth before I ever be with America again. You understand me? How a black man take it is you play with me like I'm a slave and then think I'm gonna come and join you. That's like the movie The Color Purple. At the Miss Sophia, Oprah Winfrey's character cussed out that woman that wanted her to come work for her and her kids. Right? It was so sad. After she got out of prison, she still had to go work for that woman. After she got her eye messed up, that's the most pitiful part. I think that's more pitiful than Miss Seeley's part. After she got hit in the head with that gun, butted in the head with that gun, and she went to prison or jail. When she got out, she still had to work for that woman. That's no different than America playing with me and playing in my face, and then after I win, after I get free, you think I'm gonna come work for you. That's 7 out. You think I'm gonna work for you? After you done played in my face like I'm Miss Sophia. After you done went out here and told this community all this stuff, and I done went through this cultural and spiritual incarceration. And you think after I get free from it, when people see it my way, you think I'm gonna still come work for you after that? That's what it is. That's a perfect analogy. Miss Sophia from The Color Purple. After all she went through, then she had to come work for them people. That's the most pathetic and pitiful part of the movie. Don't you think? Look at that. Let me tell you something. For you Americans, I'd rather die. Let me look you in your face. Let me look you right in your face and so you can know. I'd rather die and take my last breath before I ever work for you bastards. You understand me? You understand what I'm talking about? You stupid bastards, let me tell you something. I'm the new generation of black people. Listen, I'd rather die as a black man on my feet than work for you on my knees. And ain't nobody can change my mind. That's my position. This is how I choose to live my life. This is my statement as a man for me and me alone. The next man might have it made with the Americans. You might play a different position. This is mine. This is my position based on what they did to me. So everybody can't play my position. Neither am I telling you to play my position. It won't make sense. They're helping you. They're doing stuff for you. They're giving you pizza. They're giving you food. They're giving you stuff. They're not helping me. So you can't play my position. Neither can I play yours. Neither can I think like you about these Americans. No, I don't feel the same way because I'm not treated the same way. All these spiritual people that use witchcraft and telepathy and thought it was a game. Look what you done. You done played yourself. Now the whole community is destroyed. If you don't know, the Illuminati is the group, or the Freemasons, or someone like them. Those people out there like them is the ones that destroyed this community. They the ones that ended the world. That's the narrative. It ain't gonna change. That's the timeline. It ain't gonna change. Okay? That timeline doesn't change. It doesn't change at all. They came out here and played with us, and they ended, and God decided to send COVID-19 as a plague against the Americans. And listen, like I explained about COVID-19, in a perfect world, I wish that wouldn't have happened to the rest of these countries. In a perfect world, I wish that wouldn't have happened to Africa, Europe, Russia, China. I want you to hear that from my heart. I didn't wish that happened to everybody. But it had to happen to America for all these gang-stalking bastards that's out here. And even after COVID, they still running around, ain't they? See, listen, COVID was for America to humble themselves after all the gang-stalking. If you don't know, they were gang-stalking before COVID-19. They were gang-stalking way before COVID. That's why God did it. That's why God allowed COVID. That's why they couldn't rebuke it until it killed over 1 million people in America. Because God allowed it to happen to these gang-stalking bastards. Why you talking about the devil sent COVID? Wasn't from the devil. God allowed COVID to happen to America. It was a plague sent to the Americans for playing with God's people. Now you on the real timeline. Now the real timeline is God did do something. Oh, you wonder, well, why don't God do something? You ain't on the real timeline. You know why you ain't on the real timeline? Because you keep, I'm gonna tell you why. Because you keep equating America's suffering as if it's from the devil. Because you acting like the devil is doing all this stuff. And you ain't even thinking about God doing this stuff. So that's why you ain't on the real timeline. The real timeline is this, right? All of this stuff that's happening now is because America is being judged by God presently. That's what's happening. Starting from COVID-19, God has been judging this country for all the gang stalking. Wow, many people have given up. You know, I'm gonna tell you why you're giving up. Because you ain't seeing things the right way. God is doing something. He sent COVID. He allowed COVID to happen to these people. What you think it was? Wake up. God is doing this to these people. While people say God is weak, well, why don't God help his servants? They may look at me and say, well, why don't God help them? No, listen, let me correct you. God has helped me. As soon as they put an STD in my body, 3 months later, they got COVID-19. You think that's a coincidence? You heard what I said, right? I got diagnosed October 2019. January, November, December, January. November, December, January. That's 3 months. They got COVID-19, their first case of COVID-19 3 months after I was diagnosed with an STD. You think that's a coincidence? Knowing who I am and knowing how spiritual I am, God retaliated. God, his vengeance came and fell on this country. 3 months later. I can see if it was 3 years, then anybody could cut and paste and say, well, you know, that came because of what they did to me. 3 months later, not even half a year later, they got COVID. They got COVID 3 months after I got diagnosed in the hospital. You see what happened, right? God slid right back on them. As soon as they put that in my body, God slid on America, buddy. So ever since then, mind you, when this happened, I seen it that way. It wasn't after. I seen it in the middle of COVID. I knew God did this. God did this to this. God allowed this. God either did this or he allowed it. 3 months after I got HIV, America got 3 months later, got COVID-19. That was the retaliation for putting HIV in the body of the prophet. That's why I ain't worried about it. That's why I ain't crying about it. I ain't cried one time from having HIV. I haven't cried one time. I've had it for 7 years now. I'm healthy. I'm doing good. I ain't never had no complications. But God still brought me vengeance. His vengeance still fell on my enemies. Just in case you think, you see what I'm saying? If you're on the sucker's timeline, like ain't nothing happening. See, now you're listening to the prophet. Now I'm showing you what happened to him. Now you decide if you want to stay on that timeline or not. This is what's going on. They got COVID-19 for playing around me. I know it's hard for you to believe it, ain't it? It's hard for you to believe. The little guy from Charlotte is that big. Yes. That's what happened. It's hard for you to believe something like this can come out of Charlotte. Yes. I am a prophet of God. No different than Moses. No different than anybody else in the Bible. Right? Moses was who he was. Moses was who he was. He did what he did. He played his position. He defeated Egypt, right? He defeated Pharaoh and his army. Did he have to be an alien to play that position? No. He played that position. I'm playing mine against the Americans the same way. They played with me. They got plagues just like Pharaoh in Egypt got plagues when they played with Moses and God's people, and God told them to let them go. God said, let my people go. When Pharaoh didn't let them go, what did God do? He sent plagues. As soon as these gang stalkers didn't let me and you go, this is why plague after plague after plague is happening. You can't play with God's people like it's a game, little buddy. We wash up that weak witchcraft stuff y'all doing. We wash up that weak telepath psychic foolishness y'all doing. I wash that up. God found a warring angel. I am a warring angel. I know what my position is. I can tell you what it is. I am an angel of war. Angels do go to war. See, we paint them in American culture. We paint angels as some beautiful little creatures that come around, just look at everybody. They just gaze at everybody. The angels just come around and just gaze. More times than not, an angel is going to war. But in American culture, you don't see that, do you? You don't see an angel going to war, do you? Show me how many times you've seen in Hollywood angels going to war, and that's what they really do. Listen, I want you to ponder that. What do angels do? Angels go to war. That's what they do. Beautiful and going to war. Ain't that self-explanatory what we got to do? Listen, I know. It's hard. It's hard for you to accept it. That the Americans have become our enemy and it's time to go to war. That's what it is. You're just trying to hold on to America and it's nothing to hold on to. It's nothing to hold on to. This is over. It's too gay. It's too lesbian. It's over. They got gay and lesbian marriage in the whole country. How is this ever going to work out with us in America? They're gay. They're lesbians. They got Charlotte Pride going on right now. They got Charlotte Pride going on, gay pride in Charlotte going on right now. That's probably why the Lord got me fasting right now. You ain't look at it that way. See, you got to pay attention to the seasons and things that's going on around you. Don't be dull of mind. Don't be blind in your sight. Don't be blind in your spirit. Some of y'all ain't paying attention to the stuff that's going on. COVID-19 was allowed by God and people are still dying. Every week, 143 people die every week. 143 people die every week from COVID still right now in 2026. What is it? August 16th, 17th? August 17th? August 17th, right? It's people still dying right now from COVID. It's not a game. See, when you realize that this is the enemy, you will realize how much God is doing to these people, how much God is moving. Your mind has not come to terms with the real movement of God. The real movement of God is every time we watch the news, those are the wins. When they suffer, that's wins. When they die, that's wins. And listen, I know, it's hard for you to accept it. All you got to understand is they came in here playing with God's people, and we adjusted to the situation, and they got to die for it. That's all. I mean, there's nothing else to misunderstand about it. There's nothing else to understand about it. They use their free will to play with us, and people think we supposed to play a position of love and nothing's supposed to happen. That's not what God. See, listen, right there is where we at. God did not let it go unpunished. He let us co-labor with him against these people. He let us play a position against these Americans that play. See, if you're not being gang stalked, you don't understand what's going on. You don't understand how bad this war really is. You don't understand. And we don't have time to slow down. All this stuff that's happening to the Americans, listen, this is our wins. This is what it is. Okay, listen, what were we supposed to do? Oh, lay down like a martyr and die? Like because I'm a black man, I'm supposed to just lay down and die for America? It's not gonna happen. Jesus, I am not Jesus. Jesus said it is finished, which means nobody else adds to the work of Jesus. I don't add to the works of Jesus, which means I don't die like Jesus. Jesus said it's finished. That means I ain't got to do nothing. I ain't gonna die like Jesus. See, people quick to tell you you're not Jesus, but then when it come to dying, you like Jesus. Oh, they'll let you have that part, the crucifixion part. But but if you say I'm like Jesus, they'll look at you like you crazy. But then Americans will tell you, well, you can die like Jesus. You can't be Jesus, but you can die like Jesus. Oh, that ain't what it is. That ain't what the insinuation is. You can be crucified like Jesus. That ain't what your enemy's insinuating. That's what they insinuate. But then walk in the spirit and say you're like Jesus, and watch how the people face change. You like Jesus? Oh, you tripping? Ain't nobody like Jesus. So then why you want me to play a certain position of being crucified like Jesus, but I ain't like Jesus? Make it make sense. Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now. Jesus is an individual. He's the Son of God. I'm not Jesus. I play a whole different position. And that's what you need to understand. I am a prophet. I am his servant. I am a disciple of Jesus Christ. Right? That's what I am. I'm his servant. I'm not him. Remember Peter? What Peter do? He cut off one of the ears of the people that was trying to get Jesus. No, I just want you to see the humanity. The reason why I said that, I want you to see the humanity. That's why I believe in the Bible. Because if an author would have made up a perfect story, that's a human story. When they tried to get Jesus, Peter cut off an ear. Playing no games about Jesus. Listen, you ain't never felt like getting revenge for Jesus. Oh, you ain't never felt that in your heart? Same kind of people that got Jesus, that we dealing with them right now in America. You ain't never feel like just getting this type of humanity for Jesus. You don't want revenge for Jesus. Oh, listen. It's another level. You don't want revenge for what they did to Jesus Christ? These same type of people that's in America. They the same type of people. You don't want revenge against these type of humanity. They the same thing. Sometimes I almost sit back and cry because I want revenge for what the world did to Jesus. That's love. Think about it. If you love somebody, you don't want revenge for what they did to Jesus. I'm talking about you and your humanity. You ain't never felt those feelings. Come on, man. Listen. I'm just being real. I'm just human. I'm just real. Right? This same type of humanity is the same type of humanity that played with Jesus, that's playing with me and you, that's gang stalking us. Right? That's the same. Listen, I want you to realize that these Americans, listen, they think this is Rome, a blood sport, like a Colosseum blood sport. They think this is a blood sport and we gladiators. Oh, that's what it is. This is America. Let me tell you something. If you don't get nothing from this message, this is America's take on being like Rome in Italy. Like Rome, Italy. Fighting in the Colosseums against Christians. Using gladiators to fight against Christians. This is America. Gang stalking is America's take on trying to be like Rome. They try to be like everybody. They try to be like Egypt. Why is the pyramid on the back of the dollar? That's not an American landmark. There's no pyramids in America. They try to be everybody. This is their take on trying to be Rome, Italy. This is their Colosseum blood sport against us. Gang stalking us out in public. You ain't realize that yet? This is a psychological blood sport. Oh, you don't think these white folks see it like that? Finally, their country has become so unclean towards Christians, they can play a gladiator sport against Christians. See, they couldn't do this before. Oh, listen to me. They couldn't do this before. No, they couldn't. Because, listen, most of these people would have got killed trying to play around Christians. Oh, yeah, yes, they would have. They would have got killed by other Americans. Americans that's not even Christians would have did something to them people. But the world, this community became so gay and lesbian. If you don't know, that's who's leading the pack. They're leading the pack against me and you. Homosexuals sitting up like they in a balcony in Rome, in the Colosseum, looking at you, looking down on you, watching you being gang stalked, like they somebody special looking down on you, like there's somebody famous looking down on you. This condescending, that's the word I'm looking for. This condescending gaze, looking at what you going through, being gang stalked. This is a gladiator blood sport. This is a gladiator blood sport. You see the format, right? That's the format. So guess what God decided to do when they put the prophet in the blood sport? We went to war. We went to war. We went to war with the Americans. Now they look like idiots because they thought they had us encompassed in a blood sport, and they don't. They thought they had us in a blood sport like gladiators in the Rome Coliseum. They thought they had us in the Rome Coliseum like blood sport gladiators. And made a fool out of their whole community, played theyself, using witchcraft people, using all type of people to play games, psychological games, even right now. That's why we're getting revenge. Vengeance is the Lord's. That's our type of revenge. God is bringing vengeance. But see, it's some of y'all Christians that don't believe that. Listen, I want you to understand. The vengeance that you didn't halfway believe in, even when you said it, listen, Christians say it and they don't even believe it, do they? They halfway believe it. You don't believe God gonna do nothing? Vengeance is the Lord's. That's what they say. Do you believe it? Do you believe it's coming down for real? Do you believe America is the enemy for real? They have become the enemy. We ain't playing no games with the Americans. We ain't playing no games with them. They wanted to live like Rome, as in gladiator blood sport games. That's the best place for a gang stalker to for those who are being gang stalked to understand. That's what they did. They made you and I gladiators in a blood sport, in a guerrilla warfare, using the community in a guerrilla warfare blood sport. That's what they used. That's the format they used. They used a guerrilla warfare blood sport like Rome, in the Colosseum in Rome. That's what it is. That's why they won't stop, because to them it's a blood sport. Now you see why. As opposed to getting to the bottom of an issue. Well, why would you want to get to the bottom of an issue when you're playing a blood sport? Now you see what I'm saying. That's 7 out. You know why they not stopping? You know why I don't stop? Because it's a blood sport. It's a psychological blood sport. And me and you have become the gladiators. And how you ain't gonna fight back when they encompassed you around like a coliseum in a blood sport, in a gang stalking blood sport? How you ain't gonna fight back? See, many of you've been in denial about this. This is a blood sport. Okay? This is the closest thing to America take on the Colosseum blood sports in Rome. The Roman Colosseums. This is their closest take on the Roman Colosseums. And homosexuals sit back and probably thought about it. I'm talking about the intelligent ones. I'm talking about the rich homosexuals. They sat back and thought they want a Roman blood sport. I know how goofy they are. They sat back and thought, we gonna make a blood sport. We gonna make a Roman Colosseum like blood sport, psychological blood sport, and that's why they not gonna stop. You know why they not gonna stop? Because you didn't realize the element of entertainment that's in this situation. You did not realize the element of entertainment that's in this situation. It's not that you're wrong. It's not that you're doing anything wrong. The element of entertainment in the entertainment capital of the world, which is America, is not going to cease in this situation. This has become the most entertaining event for many Americans in American culture. Do you realize what we're in the middle of? One of the most entertaining events of the American community and culture. Gang stalking. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. This has become one of the most, now you see where we at. This has become one of the most entertaining events of the American history and culture. Now you see why it's not stopping. Why you thought you can truce with these people? You can't truce with them because too many people have already got a taste of blood of what it feels like to play with human beings. Once a human being gets the freedom to play with other human beings, what's going to make them stop? Nothing's going to make them stop. They're addicted to playing with human beings. It's not going to stop. They're going to always have somebody willing to play with other human beings. They're going to always have somebody that's willing to do this. Even if you have people that quit. 1 million people done quit, right? 1 million people done retire from gang stalking. Oh, you realize that? Oh, some people did quit. Some people did stop gang stalking. All they did was replace them, just like a job, just like a revolving door, just like Walmart. All Walmart got to do is go get applications on file. There's 1 million applications on files, buddy. People apply at Walmart every day. People apply at Walmart every day almost. People apply at McDonald's all day, every day. That's a revolving door. Gang stalking is a revolving employment. Just like Walmart or McDonald's. It's inexhaustible. They always gonna have somebody that play that position. This is why I'm trying to show you. The systems is the only solution is the systems have to be shut down. The end. This goofy community ended with gang stalking. This goofy community ended with a Coliseum Rome-like event that is one of the greatest entertaining events of American culture and community. That's why it's not going to stop. It has become an entertainment event. Now, only the spiritual person that's seeking the Lord can give you that information. That's why you spinning your wheels thinking about why it won't stop. I'm telling you why it won't stop. Because it has become an entertainment for these people. Literally, it has become an entertainment event. They have encompassed us around. Where they are watching us fight these psychological bastards. Okay? They are watching us fight these witchcraft bastards. That's why they encompass around you everywhere you leave somewhere. Listen, I give you about 2 or 3 days and you feel the same energy that you felt from the last place, right? It just took time for them to encompass that same arena around you. You left another city. You went to another city, right? Why did you feel the same energy? How long did it take? It took about 2 or 3 days before that energy kicked in, right? All it took was enough time for them to gather people against you again where you at the new place you at. That's all they doing. It's following you place to place. That means it's time to go to war. That's why on my 10-day fast, I'm on a 10-day fast right now. It cannot stop. We cannot stop this. We must shut these people down. Somebody got to pay the price. We got to stop being weak. We got to get back up. We got to stop being punks about this. We got to go into war and fast until they die. Okay? That's what I'm on. That's what I'm on. You know what I'm on? Our enemies perishing for playing with us in a Rome-like Coliseum blood sport psychological game. That's what this is. I'm the only person that probably coined it just like that. This is a Rome Coliseum, Rome-like game where you're the gladiators fighting against these bastards. That's what it is. Every time you come into a place, they encompass around that place like a Coliseum. They put the psychological people, these witches and warlocks, these psychics and all that foolishness. They put all of these people around you. From place to place. We going to war about that, buddy. You shouldn't have followed me here. You shouldn't have followed me. And you don't think I know. You've already come here. Right? We gonna take care of you. I'm sorry. You shouldn't have followed me. You shouldn't have followed me onto this side of town. When I left South Charlotte, you should have stayed right there. You didn't do that, did you? It's World War III, and that's all there is to it. It's over. It ain't nothing else to say. All I'm doing is equipping God's people to not become casualties. Don't go to hell in the middle of this situation. That's all I'm doing at this point. It ain't no hope between us and them. Ain't no hope between us and them. They follow me here to West Charlotte from South Charlotte. It ain't no hope. They think I'm stupid. They have encompassed around where I'm living at right now with psychological games and everything, and I know about it. Listen, buddy, you dealing with the best. I know what I felt when I first came here. Nothing was here. And then 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 days went by. I count about 7 to 10 days went by. Then the same arena that was in South Charlotte is around here. The same psychological games, the same voices that was in South Charlotte is now within this room, this house where I'm at. It wasn't there before. It took you time to encompass yourself around this building. It took you time to encompass yourself around this neighborhood. That's World War III, buddy. Now listen, man, listen. It's over with. It's over with, buddy. I outranked you. I outgrew you. It's over. That's why I left in the first place. That's why I left because it's over. It's not because I'm a coward. I stayed on the streets for 3 months, walking the streets late 3 o'clock at night, all the time. If I was a coward, I would have been out there in the daytime. I was out there at night and daytime. You did nothing. I have nothing to prove. It's time to shut it down. I don't care about your community. I don't care about America. We should have knew that this country would become some type of goofy community that would destroy itself from some type of entertainment, some type of game. These gamers and all this stuff going on, you telling me they wasn't gonna die goofy? You didn't realize it. You didn't think about it. Just be honest. The prophet is the one that showed you. We should have knew America was gonna die playing a dumb game. All these games they got, all these gamers and all these virtual reality Call of Duty games and all these games. You telling me they wasn't gonna die playing a game? See, you thought everything else but that. You know what wound up happening in reality? They died playing a game. America died playing a game with me and you. Now we figured it out. Now the prophet laid it out clearly. That's what happened. I'm going to tell you what happened if you don't know. America died playing a game with God's people and other Americans and good people. They died playing a game. These clowns died playing a game. How much more fitting that it would be that the entertainment capital of the world would die playing a game? How much more fitting would it be for the American community to die playing a game, being that this is the entertainment capital of the world? This is the entertainment capital of the world. You should have knew. Now you see how goofy it is. Now you see it in your mind. This is the entertainment capital of the world. The movies, the TV shows, the video games, the phones, all the games on the phones, all this stuff. Over the years, decades and decades of movies, decades and decades of games, they died playing a game. You know what the cautionary tale of America is? This little goofy, little stupid community, being the entertainment capital of the world, died playing a game. That's what happened. And that's the only format in worldviews and psychology behind it. If you try to make it any other worldview or psychology, you're going to lose. You're going to lose yourself. You're going to be confused and dazed, and you're going to be abused and misused in these situations, because you don't realize what the mentality is. You don't realize what the worldviews is. You don't realize how these people are thinking. You know what they're thinking? They're thinking they're playing a real life game. They think they're playing a real life game in reality, whether it be psychological, witchcraft people, psychic people, whatever it is. They all think they're playing a game, right? That's because this is the entertainment capital of the world. That's what it is. So they're not warlike people. Warlike people is in the Middle East. They're not soldiers. They're entertainment people. You see the difference? Most of these Americans are not soldiers. They're gamers. They like entertainment. They like movies. They like TV. They like games. They like video games. That's who they really are. Now you get it. So how they fell from the throne was they wanted to play a game like they always do. They always like to play a game, don't they? And that's what happened to them. They played Theyself, no pun intended. They played Theyself, playing a game with God's people. Now you get it. And then listen, if you try to see it any other way, you're gonna get lost and confused. That's what how is this not the format when this is the entertainment capital of the world? These people love games. They love theme parks. They love circuses and carnivals and all this goofy stuff. You don't tell me, you telling me they wouldn't like a game where they can play with human beings in America? That's what it is. That's what it is. It's like a man that run the carnival theme park rides, sitting back smoking a cigarette, watching people ride the rides. You know, the loser that wind up operating the rides at the carnival, sitting back smoking a cigarette, watching everybody ride the rides over and over again. That's what these game stalkers are, losers, operating this game stalking theme park. That's what they are. That's all this is. And so the opposite is to go to war. What's the opposite of playing a game? Going to war. Whole different mentalities. One serious and one is silly. That's why they try to act like it was a war. Everybody know better. They ain't got no war going on. They was playing clown games and they still playing clown games. We're going to war. We're strategizing against their community. Right? That's why they can't beat us. They tried to coordinate and be like us and try to act like they was at war. Man, come on, man. That was short-lived. Nobody don't believe that. We believe you was clowns. See, I remember the Illuminati or those Freemasons, secret society people back in 2017. I remember them back in 2017 where the women was wearing way too much makeup, looking like they out of touch, looking like an alien. Cause they ain't been around no real people in the streets. They walking around looking like weirdos. Then they start hanging with the streets, and then they got a makeover. Now they blending in with the streets. But I remember when Illuminati looked like weird. The women was wearing too much makeup, looking like weirdos. Yeah, I remember when you was weirdos. I remember when you look out of touch, and we could clearly see who you was. Now you done smoke a spliff with the community. Now you listen, you done got high and hung with the community and got around the funk a little bit. Now you think you one of us. Listen, you will never be. Let me explain something to secret societies. You will never be one of us. You proved it. You know how you proved it. You messed up the whole community. You will never be one of us. You blew it. You totally blew it. You ain't gonna never be one of us. You ain't cool enough to be one of us. That's what you tell these wannabes that want to be so cool all the time. These Freemasons and Illuminati want to be so cool. Listen, you will never be one of us. You will never be cool as us. You done blew that. You done blew that. And you know, you can't come back from it. You messed up this whole community playing games when everybody told you to stop playing games. Didn't the streets tell you to stop? Everybody told you to stop. You think you being bad? You ain't nothing. You ain't nothing, man. I was on the streets with you the whole time. You are cowards. I ain't tell you to ease up on me. I ain't bow down to you. You could have did whatever you wanted to do. That's what God wants you to see. You could have did whatever you wanted to do. You a coward. You could have did whatever you wanted to do out in the streets and they ain't do nothing. And then you gonna come around and post up and slide by like you spinning the block. You ain't spinning no block. These lames acting like they sliding. You ain't sliding how? Riding around, that's how you sliding. Had all that time to face me and you couldn't. Had all that time to see me in the streets and you couldn't. Now you trying to act like you sliding. Man, you can't be serious, man. We rather die than face you anymore. You a clown. You're cowards. I told you that when I was on the streets. I ain't changed my tune. I ain't come over here where I'm at and change my tune. And you can go back and watch my videos and see I ain't changed my tune. I was talking to you just like this and you know I was. And you ain't do nothing, did you? You ain't do nothing, did you? Man, stop playing with me, man. I was never scared of you. I was never scared of no secret societies. I was never scared. You're washed up, spaced out, space cadet, witchcraft bastards that done messed up the community, and everybody need to know what it is. You know what it is? All these telepaths and psychics and these space cadets messed up the whole community. That's what happened. You want to know the truth? That's what happened. They messed up the whole community, and everybody know it. Everybody know you messed up the community. Everybody know it's your fault. Everybody know it was the witchcraft community. Everybody know all that witchcraft destroyed America. All them spells, all them animal sacrifices, all them sacrifices you did, trying to curse us, all that did was destroy the community. Good job. Good job there. Good job there. Good job there. Messed up the whole community. Now look at you. All that witchcraft backfired. It spiritually backfired. Guess who it spiritually backfired on? Your whole community. Your whole community in shambles right now. You know why? Because you used all that witchcraft against God's people and it came back on the whole community. Let's tell the truth. You've been gang stalking preachers. Oh yeah, you have. Yeah, you have. Yeah, you have. They've been gang stalking deacons. They've been gang stalking. Listen, man. Listen. You want to stay a slow person? You want to know what's really going on? You want me to tell you what's really going on? What these preachers ain't talking about? Or you want to look like you slow? I'm gonna tell you what's going on. They gang stalking preachers. They putting witchcraft on all these preachers. Listen, every famous preacher, they get the attention of the culture. They gang stalking all of them. Oh, you don't think they gang stalking T.D. Jakes? Of course. You don't think they gang stalking Pastor Parsley? Of course. You don't think they gang stalking Juanita Bynum? Of course. They gang stalking all them people. Go listen to how they talking. Go listen to the videos that they got going on. Look at the frustration and the aggravation that them same people are under. Look at how Bishop Jakes falling on in the podium. You telling me that ain't witchcraft? All these accusations against Bishop Jakes. You telling me that ain't witchcraft? It's witchcraft, man. That's what it is. They trying to curse all of God's people, all these preachers. It's what it is. What y'all want me to do? Tell you it ain't true? It is true. God knows it's true. I put that on my credibility as a prophet. This is true. They gang stalking Creflo Dollar, anybody that you know, all back in the past for the whole non-denominational community. All them preachers you knew back in the past, Marilyn Hickey and all them, listen, every one of them you can think about. Now you see what happened. The witchcraft community, these gay people, these lesbians, they came in and gang stalked all the famous preachers. They doing it to all the preachers in Charlotte. They doing it to all the preachers everybody know in Charlotte. Any preachers on TV, they doing it to them. Oh, I'm lying? I done exposed it, bro. Now, listen, it's up to you. How far you choose to believe. How far you want to go. It's up to you. I can show you as much as they doing. I can show you how much they doing. It's whether you can believe. See, it takes faith to believe in God, and it takes faith to understand what's going on against our community and against the satanic kingdom. You got to have faith to know all this stuff that's going on. Because you're going to say, nah, I don't think that's real. I don't think nobody using witchcraft. Okay. You just don't got faith. You don't have faith in understanding the spiritual world. You don't have faith in understanding the whole satanic kingdom and what it's doing. You got to have faith to believe in what Satan is. Because some people don't believe. So then, what is to believe what he doing? You have faith in the word of God concerning the whole reality of the spiritual world. And everybody don't have faith in the whole spiritual world and what it consists of. Does that make sense? These goofy people thought it would be cute. They thought it would be cute. Like I like to always say, nobody don't do nothing that they don't think is cute. The average person does things they think is cute. They thought it would be cute. I'm pretty sure they did. They thought it would be cute to use all these people against us. They thought it would be cute to play these games. Do it look cute now? Do it look cute now to play these games? When they got kids dying, little young 7-year-old girl dying at a daycare, do it look cute now? When you see the repercussions, these little girls dying at a daycare, do it look cute now? I don't know who you thought you was. As that little gang stalking community. Boy, I don't know who you thought you was. But we proved who we are. We destroyed these people called Americans for playing with God's people. And you could think I'm the craziest person in the world. All of this is true. You could think I'm bugged out. You could think I'm bipolar. You could think I'm schizophrenic. You could think I'm what's the other one? Schizophrenic, paranoid, manic, or anything else. Psychosis. You could think I'm psychotic. And at the end of the day, it's a whole community that's saying the same thing, going through the same thing. How all of us crazy? How all of us sick? How is all of us crazy? Huh? I can go pull it up right now, videos everywhere. And see, I already felt this way before I was introduced to them. Before I even knew what the term gang stalking was. I already knew what was going on because of my street intuition. I got street smarts, so I was already maneuvering my way without the term, without understanding what it was. That's what most of y'all gonna do that got street wisdom. You already kind of was navigating without knowing what the term was. So I'm gonna pull you all the way up to the future. Guess what has to happen? The systems of America have to be shut down. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. With 2 W's, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The systems have to be shut down. I'm sorry. God don't play no games. We not sorry. I don't know what you thought. What you thought, buddy? What did you think? What did you think? Clowns. Play with the whole community. What Charlotte thought this was Soul Circus? You thought this was Soul Circus, didn't you? Charlotte thought this was Soul Circus, didn't you? Charlotte, you thought this was Soul Circus. All them clowns out here, you must have thought it was Soul Circus. All these charlatans, what y'all thought this was Soul Circus? You thought playing with the prophet was Soul Circus. Well, we gonna fry some chicken and this is Soul Circus. We gonna make some beans and fry some chicken, and this is Soul Circus. We gonna act like this is Soul Circus. We gonna act like this is Soul Circus. Y'all thought this was Soul Circus, didn't you? Well, it's not Soul Circus, buddy. This is not Soul Circus. If you don't know what Soul Circus is, it's black themed circus with African American themes and music and all of that stuff. And it's a circus that comes from city to city, right? So it comes to my hometown, so they know about Soul Circus, right? It's kind of self-explanatory. You can read between the lines even if you ain't really know what it was. They think this is Soul Circus, don't they? Well, it's not Soul Circus. It's about to be some destruction. That's what it's about to be. It's about to be Destruction Circus. It's about to be Destruction Circus. You ever seen Destruction Circus? This is about to be Destruction Circus. Charlotte and America about to be Destruction Circus. Welcome to Destruction Circus. No Soul Circus, Destruction Circus. Destruction Derby Circus. Destruction Derby Circus. Destruction Derby Circus. This Destruction Derby Circus. You ever been to a Destruction Derby? This Destruction Derby Circus. Let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something. Charlotte, you thought this was Soul Circus, and it's not. This is not Soul Circus. You played the wrong game with the wrong prophet, the one that got the turn up and the slide and everything in between, could spin the block and everything. Need be, if need be. If need be. I could slide and spin the block if need be, right? Catching bodies on the spiritual side. I'm not being prideful, I'm not being arrogant, I'm not being evil. We catching bodies over here. Oh, yeah. You understand that terminology? You just got to understand I ain't being evil or wicked by saying it. Well, people are dying. How you want me to say it? You want me to say it in plain English? People are dying over here for playing with us. I can show you bodies just from me. I'm not the same person. I done caught me some bodies. Oh, yeah. And am I proud of that? Well, it's war. It's war. That's what it is. It's war. Okay, now, listen, if you left because of that, listen, you wasn't supposed to be here anyway, because listen, we ain't trying to tickle these people. We ain't trying to tickle nobody. I can show you where I went on a fast and people died after that. Pacific people I fasted against. Specifically them. Not, I just fasted against a whole bunch of people. No, I fasted against a Pacific person more than one time, and they died within months' time. You think that's a coincidence? Death itself is no coincidence. That don't just happen. People don't just die. You know what I mean? I done caught more than a couple bodies. Am I proud of that? No, not in the context of pride and laughter and how I was just laughing just now. I don't keep that as a foundation of how I see catching these bodies. That's why people don't play with me, because they know it's true. People play with me. I dug in. I start catching bodies. That's why I'm on a whole different level of spirituality, and it's still God's side. And if just in case you think I'm trying to say something innovative or something cutting edge to look cool, nah, that's not what this is. Or trying to say something unique that separate me from the other Christians, nah, that's not. I'm just showing you my reality. Now look, you could think I'm a witch, you could think I'm a warlock, you could think I'm a whatever you want to think. But I know God is in my heart. I know the love of God is in me. I'm filled with God. How love ain't in me? I'm filled with the Holy Ghost. Hallelujah. Just got quickened in my spirit. I'm filled with the Holy Ghost. It just, you are behind 20 years. You are behind 20 years, as most of you Christians are behind 20 years. And they decided, these gay people rose up in our community. Listen, how else can I say this without insulting you? How else can I say this without insulting you? You are behind. Okay? You thought it was me. How it's me? I just came from New York. I know everything that's going on. The first person I'm gonna trust is somebody coming from New York. How I don't know? How I don't know what's going on? I just came from New York City. How I don't know what's going on? Come think about it. I'm gonna sit up and listen to everything this person's saying coming from New York City. Man, listen, ain't nothing I'm saying is a lie. Ain't nothing I'm saying is out of paranoia. I just came from New York City. These people have been playing games with you and your family. Look at your family. Look at all the stuff they're going through. You think that's a coincidence? No, it's not. That's why I'm on my face fasting. I can look around and I know these people using witchcraft against me and against people I care about. I know that's what's going on. But can I convince them? Maybe not. You can't convince your family. If they don't believe it, just let it go. Just let it go. Ain't nothing you can say. It ain't no need to argue. It ain't no need to try to force them to believe what you believe. It ain't no need. All you can do is put it out there. And then when they start seeing signs, they're going to think about what you said. When they start seeing stuff, they're going to think of, when they start hearing stuff, when they start hearing and seeing stuff, they're going to believe in what you told them. But until then, you gotta sow the seed and walk away. That's all you can do. We at war. That's where we at. These bastards thought they could play with our community. And you know, they playing with our families and everything. They think it's a game. That's what I'm trying to show you, literally. You have to understand, everything changed without insulting your intelligence or insulting you as a person. You can't be slow to understand what's going on, right? You can't. You got to realize these gay people, they rose up in our community. That's the best thing. If you don't get anything else today, put that in your mind. These gay people sitting back smoking weed, sitting back doing pills and doing cocaine and getting drunk all the time. Gay people, these witchcraft gay people. Do you realize how much black people use witchcraft these days? Hoodoo and voodoo. Do you realize that? You realize how much they use witchcraft in your community? Young black people. Young people. Not the old people back in the day. Young black people using witchcraft against God's people. Now you're up to date. They got a whole community of people smoking weed and getting high for years and years and years. You don't think they're going to come up with crazy stuff? For people to get high, you should know that. Think about people getting high years and years and years and years and years in America. Think about gay people getting high, lesbians getting high years and years and years using witchcraft. They're going to come up with crazy stuff. This is that crazy stuff they came up with as American community. Getting high all these years, being gay and growing as a gay community. They formed gang stalking against Christians. They formed gang stalking against Christians. I'm telling you what I know. I'm not telling you nothing that I think about. I may feel is my opinion. I don't give people my opinion like this strongly like this. No. If I really wasn't confident about it, I wouldn't say it. I done seen it too many times. I done seen too many patterns of Christians being gang stalked. Good people. I can tell they going through it. You can tell. The strange stuff that's going on in their family, the strange stuff that's happening to them out of nowhere. You can tell they being gangsta. That's what's happening. That's why they tripping like that. That's why they acting like that. That's why their family is acting out of character. This is why there's separation in families. When you ain't talk to people in your family on the phone, y'all just text. Oh, you don't think that's witchcraft? Why you ain't heard your family's voice in a million years? Why you ain't heard your family's voice and all y'all do is texting? Texting is a way of life, but not with you being gangsta. You know why you ain't talk to your family? Because they have tried to curse you to have division, separation, where you ain't seen your family in years and months and years. You know why? Because it's witchcraft to try to separate you from your family and alienate you from your family. And then you still wind up separated. You know why? Because these people are working overtime to separate you from those you love. Pay attention. Look at your relationships. Women in a relationship, why you not with your spouse? Because it's witchcraft trying to separate you from that person. You got to go into spiritual warfare to break it. You can't even explain why you got separation between a husband and a wife. I can explain it. It's witchcraft. That's what it is. How you gonna be in the same house and y'all can't even connect? Because it's witchcraft being used against you. That's how it manifests. It ain't just, oh, you die, or oh, you hurt yourself, or you get sick. It ain't just that. It's separation. Witchcraft brings separation. This friction where you can't get together. Where you don't halfway want to be around people. That ain't nothing but witchcraft. I'm telling you, that's what it is. I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. I wouldn't tell you nothing wrong. I know what I'm talking about. You got people right now in the same house, and why can't they be in the same room and just love on each other and love each other? They say they both full of love, right? Why they can't come together then? Make it make sense. Full of love, but why y'all can't come together? I'm gonna tell you why. Because it's witchcraft that you was not aware of that's being used against you. You have not been aware of people monitoring you, watching you. You people in your neighborhood, people that done moved into your neighborhood and you didn't know they moved in. Witchcraft people moved into your neighborhood. Like I explained before, how they work. If you're a high target in witchcraft, if you're a high-ranking enemy of witchcraft people, what they'll do is try to curse people in your neighborhood to get them out, and they'll move in those same buildings, them same houses. So you wondering how they got there? They got there in the years when you wasn't paying attention. The years you wasn't paying attention, I would say around 2014 to about 2018. I would say 2014 to about COVID. After COVID, everybody just put their head on a swivel, right? Everybody put their head, like I like to say, put your brain on a swivel. Not your head, put your brain on a swivel. Put your brain on a swivel. This witchcraft was going on around us to try to, during 2014 to up to 2020, changing your neighborhood, getting certain people out your neighborhood and moving, witchcraft people moving into those same houses. I can come into a neighborhood and I can come into a house and I can come in and sense it, all the witchcraft around the community. I know what I'm talking about. How did they get there? I'm gonna tell you how they got there. They cursed the other people to move out, and then they moved in. They found the agency. They knew what the agency was. They're more sophisticated than you think. They knew what the agency was. They owned the house and the rights of the house and all of that stuff. And as soon as they moved out, they got the money and moved in. That's what they did. That's how they do a high-ranking person. If you high-ranking and you wonder how all these witchcraft people got around me, because they cursed the other people to move out and they moved in. This is spiritual warfare strategy. In 2026, I'm showing you. This is spiritual warfare insight according to 2026. 20 years later, after what we knew was witchcraft or and spiritual warfare and the early non-denominational church in 2006, right? This is 20 years later. This is how they move now. They curse people to move out and they move in. Okay? That explains how this is. And they recruit people too. They recruit people. People next door with a whole bunch of kids, probably gang stalkers. Using their kids as triggers. I'm a veteran. I've seen this from coast to coast. I know what I'm talking about. Using their kids as triggers to come outside as a trigger to you. A psychological trigger. And the woman of the house and the man of the house is probably in witchcraft. This is from experience on the battlefield. I'm not telling you nothing. I tell you, I can say this before God. I'm not telling you nothing wrong. This is how these people move. Do you supposed to be paranoid? Do you supposed to do something about it? You supposed to play a certain position about it. You fast. You seek the Lord, right? That's why the devil is on my heels. You know why? Because I'm fasting in this atmosphere. I'm fasting against all this witchcraft that's been put in this atmosphere. That's why God had to move me. And He gonna move you where you living at, so you can move into a spirit of fasting. To fast against all this witchcraft that nobody didn't know about. Nobody know about it. See, when you're high ranking, you begin to sense witchcraft, and you know you know when it's in the atmosphere. I know when I'm dealing with it. I can hear it. I can hear telepaths and mind readers and psychics and all of that. Oh yeah. I know how they sound. That's from experience. You don't get that overnight. I didn't get this experience overnight. Anything that I'm telling you is not overnight. This is not overnight success. This is years and years. I'm saving you so much time because this is years and years of experience. Okay? Now, the conclusion is God is going to shut down the systems on these people. They shouldn't have played with God's people. I'm sorry. They shouldn't have played with God's people. They thought they was going to be able to live and tell and talk about it like they Madonna. They thought they was Madonna. They was going to live to tell, didn't they? Well, you're not going to, as a community, you Americans are not going to live to tell like you Madonna. You thought you was Madonna, you were going to live to tell, didn't you? You're not going to live to tell, buddy. I'm telling you. Which means you ain't gonna be doing no podcasts talking about how you was gang stalking, sitting back like you an OG of gang stalking. Can't you see it right now? Some people sitting back like they OGs of gang stalking. Yeah, we were doing this and we were Nah, bro, listen, that's not gonna happen. I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. This is almost the end. That's what's gonna happen. Okay? These people played theyself, playing with God's people. God's true people, true spiritual warriors. They played theyself. I'm not a fake gangster. I'm not a fake thug. I'm not a criminal. I'm not a gangster. I'm not a thug. I am a soldier. I find it more high-ranking to be a soldier. Anyway. A soldier's more dangerous anyway. I'm a soldier. I take delight in being, you know what I mean? I take more interest in being a soldier. I am not no thug. I am not a criminal. I am not a gangster. I am a thug. I am a soldier. I am not a thug. I'm a soldier. Okay, so now you see my lane and my position. And I play my position the way I need to play my position. I'm a soldier. I carry myself just like one. If you sleep on me, listen, I take full advantage of it. A thug gonna come in and try to prove itself. And try to make you believe and make an example out of people. I don't do that. I let people think whatever they want to think. And if you're stupid enough to sleep on me, and I'm just coming from New York City, and Charlotte, you stupid enough to sleep on me, then listen, you helping me. I don't sleep on nobody. That's how I survive. I don't sleep on nobody. People sleep on me. I don't sleep on nobody. People underestimate me and got me looking like I'm Bart Simpson or I'm some little retarded guy or some little dumb guy. Listen, I don't sleep on nobody. That's how I survive. I watch people. You know what I mean? I don't sleep on no one. I don't size nobody up. I let people be who they are, and who they are is who they are. How they talk, you couldn't make it up. You know what I mean? That's what I go by. I go by what you do and what you say out your mouth. Stuff you can't make up, right? A sucker can't make it up. A lame can't make it up. Everything I just said. You can't. You can't learn this from YouTube. You can't learn this from WorldStar. You can't learn this from the internet. You can't learn what I'm talking about and how I move from the internet. You can't. These people play with the wrong people. And I don't have no compassion. I don't have no mercy. This is war. And in war, there's not going to be no mercy and no compassion. Not in the context that you're used to in social aspects of life. We're not easily given no compassion and mercy like in the social aspects of America. They played with us and they played out here in the field, and then they think they're gonna get forgiveness and we just gonna let it go. Nah, it don't work like that. It don't work like that, man. You owe people. They owe us. And they thought it was all a game, and now it's not. Now they see it's not. See, God has a way of making everybody say uncle. God has a way of making everybody bow down. Everybody. He makes everybody bow down. And listen, man, ain't no way in the world you gonna tell me something destructive is not gonna happen with all these arrogant people. That's how you know. No, hold up. How you know something's about to happen? Because of all these arrogant people. All these arrogant people. Destruction has to happen to bring them down, to humble them down. To bring them down or humble them down, whichever one comes first. Which one ever comes first? You get humbled down or broke down. God has the last say so. God has the last word. Ain't no arrogant black people, ain't no arrogant Hispanic or Latinos gonna stand up and play in God's face, playing with his people. Ain't no white racist Americans gonna play. They ain't gonna get the last word. Before this world comes to an end, them people gonna be broke down. That's why you gotta let it happen. Because you gotta look at the whole history of America. Not what you see right now. You gotta look at this situation as the showdown. The showdown between right and wrong, good and evil, all this stuff that's been going on in this country. And finally, vindication has come. You got to look at the whole timeline of America to get on this wave to understand, listen, all America has done, they deserve it. They deserve it. All the stuff they done as a whole collective community. And then they wind up playing with the prophet. It's over with. It's over. They killed Martin Luther King Jr. They probably had part in killing Malcolm X. They were gang stalking both of them. I'm pretty sure they were definitely gang stalking Martin Luther King Jr. Edgar Hoover, supposed to be he was a Freemason. Oh, I'm educated. Top of the FBI, Edgar Hoover. He was a Freemason. Didn't realize MLK's family was a Freemason community and family. His MLK daddy and granddaddy was Freemasons. MLK, his daddy and granddaddy was Freemasons, and they made MLK a Freemason after he died. It's a procedure called on site by the Freemasons, where they make a person that was going to join them or something to that effect. They make them a Freemason after their death. So technically, MLK is a Freemason. His dad was a Freemason and his granddad was a Freemason. But yet, Edgar Hoover being a Freemason, he investigated MLK and seeing he was his family was Freemasons, he didn't even stop. That's the most famous example of Freemasons gang stalking Freemasons. Edgar Hoover gang stalking MLK when MLK's dad and granddad was Freemasons. That shows you race is more important than organization. Oh boy, that's a 7 hour. Because I've been telling you that. But that's the major punchline. I finally put the puzzle pieces together. Edgar Hoover was a Freemason. I know he realized that MLK's family, from investigating MLK, right? We knew he sent tapes to his wife of him being intimate with other women. So you don't think he watched what his family was and who his family was? You don't think he knew his dad was a Freemason and his granddad was a Freemason? Of course he did. But race and racism is more important than MLK's family being Freemasons. Organization is more important than race is more important than organization. Even in the hands of a racist, he cared more about the fact that MLK was black. He didn't care nothing about him being a Freemason. Race is more important than organization in any situation. Which means they ain't gonna care nothing about y'all talking about y'all a part of some secret society. They gonna look at a black man like me being played with, and they gonna come to my side. They gonna be on my side because they gonna look at it like here's another black man being played with, and they couldn't prove nothing on him. See, it became an issue of race. That's what I'm trying to tell these dummies. This became an issue of race. We don't care nothing about what you're talking about, no pedophiles and all that other foolishness. This has become an issue of race, and now it looks like another black man being played with by white American and American people. That's what it's done come to. That's how people looking at it. Just in case you don't know, the streets is looking at it like, here we go again, where another black man that's talking sense. Keep in mind my intellectual property. Here we go again, where it ain't no coincidence that he just happened to be some messenger. Some intelligent messenger talking about something worth something, and look at America playing with him, right? You think that's a coincidence? How you think black people gonna see it? They ain't thinking nothing about what no Freemasons and Illuminati is saying. We looking at the fact that race is more important than organization, which we don't care who you are. We gonna look at the fact it's a black man being played with, and that's what they looking at. And we know he gonna be mad at us because we played with him. We was part of it. We fed. The black people gonna say we fed into the foolishness. How he ain't gonna be mad at us? We the ones started all of this. Be reasonable. How he ain't gonna be mad at you? So we take what come with it, right? But at the end of the day, we didn't do what these racist white people did to him. We ain't do it like they did. And now we hate the fact that we done caused another situation on a man that got some intelligent property, some intellectual property worth something, talking worth something progressively. He talking worth something progressively. He making intellectual property progressively. That's how we know he one of the ones. Well, how he making intellectual property progressively? Moving along a timeline, talking about things intelligently, producing intellectual property. We done played with one of the greats once again. See, the devil done bamboozled you as Americans. You done messed around and played with one of the highest caliber of intellectuals in your community once again. That's how the devil works. It ain't nothing you can say. You can't make this up. You can't make how I talk up. You can't do it. You either got it or you don't. I've been listening to Farrakhan off and on for 14 years. Can't tell me I'm slipping. I've been listening to Farrakhan. You ain't know that, did you? How I'm racist and I've been listening to Farrakhan. Man, make it make sense. That's 7 hours. How I'm listening to Farrakhan, Minister Farrakhan, and I'm racist. No, I just don't deal with ignorant people. I just don't deal with no ignorance. I've been listening to Farrakhan since 2012. For 14 years. That's the confirmation right there. Don't sound good, buddy. Don't sound good, do it. Playtime is over. See, while you was playing games, listen, I was a student of Farrakhan. Down in Daytona Beach, listen to Farrakhan in Daytona Beach. Living with a female, listen to Farrakhan. See, I done got on a level that y'all didn't know. Listen, for all you Charlotte people that knew me, listen, you don't know what level I'm on now, do you? I've been listening to Farrakhan. Huh? Come on, man. Listen, let me tell you something. You played yourself playing with me, and that's the bottom line. And all these goofy white people, listen, let me tell you something. You ain't gonna get out of this very easily. No, you're not. No, you're not. Finally, we gonna see you get what you deserve as white Americans. It's called vindication. That's what it's called, vindication. We need vindication. That's what it's called. So for God's true people, salute, over and out.